Hello. Shortly after Shabbat, my family is headed to Israel for 3 weeks. And so, those of you whom I don't see over Shabbat, it will most likely be at least 3 weeks until we see each other. So, I want to wish you health and happiness and all good things while I am away. I don't know if I'll be able to record videos from Israel. I'm chasing 5 kids around Jerusalem for 5 weeks. So if I don't record a video, know that I'm thinking of you all the same and collecting anecdotes and inspiration that I hope to share with you in the coming weeks upon our return. In this week's parasha, there's sort of dramatic story at the beginning, the story of the spies, and afterwards the Torah has a series of mitzvot that are described, and one of those mitzvot is a korban, a special sacrifice that's brought under circumstances that are not necessarily clear. If you unwittingly fail to observe any one of the commandments that Hashem has declared to Moshe, so that is sort of a curious mitzvah. What's the ritual for atonement? What's the korban that you bring, the sacrifice that's brought if you don't observe all the mitzvot? Okay, how do it seems like an accomplishment. How can you break all the mitzvot? So Ramban explains. It's a long Ramban. You have it on your source sheet. I just put in bold where he actually tells you what he thinks the meaning is. It's a situation where people, the entire Jewish people, or a big segment of the Jewish people, came to the understanding that the time of the Torah is over, that we should all stop being Jewish and stop observing mitzvah, okay? And this can happen erroneously. How does it happen erroneously? So for an individual, you have a child who is raised by pirates, taken captive and raised without any awareness of his or her Jewish identity. And it can also happen to an entire congregation if people develop the ideology that in the Ramban's word, the time of the Torah has already passed, that it was not given to last forever. So, for example, like Christianity, right? They believe it was a Jewish group originally that felt that the time of the Torah had passed. The mitzvot of the Torah are not forever, and one doesn't have to keep them. Another example, there's an ideology that exists in the Sifrei, right? Where the Torah was given, that we should do the mitzvot and be rewarded. And maybe we want to decide, you know what? We'll leave aside the rewards and we'll leave aside the mitzvot. No, you're actually not allowed to do that. Okay, you have to keep the mitzvot, even if you are, even if you think on a cost benefit analysis, I'll just opt out. And furthermore, Yechezkel describes the situation of the exiles after the destruction of the first temple, who are asking Cheskel, do we have to keep mitzvot anymore? God sent us away. Maybe he doesn't want us anymore. Maybe, we're free of service of God. And these are all mistaken ideologies. And we can add other mistaken ideologies that we're aware of that teach that the mitzvot are not forever, the mitzvot are no longer binding. And if an entire community adopts such an ideology and abandons their observance of Torah and mitzvot, so that's what this pasuk is describing and telling us, the special korban for coming back. So it's a curious little detail, small little pasuk that can easily be overlooked at the end of the sixth aliyah, and the Ramban, I think, is certainly really interesting because he is describing a phenomenon that existed in his time. He was aware of certainly of Christianity and other groups that left Jewish religious practice based on an ideological commitment, ideological belief that led them to do that. And there are various ideologies that have come up since the time of the Ramban that have also taught similar things. And it's not the way of the Torah, but the Torah accounts for such mistakes as well. All right, wishing you all a wonderful Shabbat, a healthy summer, and excited to see some of you over Shabbat and the rest of you, the end of July or shortly thereafter. All right, be well.